Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to the NS9 Postgame Show powered by Primanti Brothers. I'm your host, Anthony DiNardo. For the very first time of 2024, Ryan Alexander returns. For those that don't even know, the co-founder. You and I, Ron, we're back together once again.
There we are again. And hey, I did a spring training game, so I was somewhat back.
You did, but no one really cared about that because we weren't giving away sandwiches. But tonight,
that's right. Now they count.
Tonight, we're giving away sandwiches.
Yeah, now they count. So, excuse me, as I'm trying to power through this, my voice might come and go, but I'm here. What a game! What a game, DiNardo.
This is a very good game. They've all been very good games. And again, the Pirates win tonight, 8-3. They go into DC after sweeping the Marlins. They defeat the Washington Nationals 8-3. And again, Ryan, you know what that means, right?
Free sandwiches.
Free sandwiches. So everyone that's in here watching this show right now, and if you're not, well, I guess you would be because you're hearing me. Go tell a friend. Go tell everyone. Come in here, watch the show. Comment, hashtag raise it. All one word, hashtag raise it. That's your entry to get the free sandwiches. At the end of the show, we will, of course, announce the winner. 2 Primanti sandwiches coming your way because the Pirates are 5-0, buddy.
Yeah, I don't think Primanti's did they expect to give out 200 sandwiches this year? Because 200.
No. You get it wrong. 2 sandwiches per game. So we're talking at least 300 sandwiches they're giving out.
Right. Because we're trending for that. So
perfection, right, baby.
So 5-0. So I've been tweeting out the stat of, the 3-0 starts, the 4-0 starts every morning. So the 5-0 starts in Pirates history. We're talking 143 seasons, I believe it is, going back to 1882 as the Alleghenies. They have gone 5-0 now. This is the 6th season in 143 years of them starting 5-0. And first time since 1983. In those 5 other instances where they went 5-0 to start the year, they've finished above 500 in all those years. So DiNardo, they finished above 500 in all 5 of those seasons.
Okay.
So
we're cooking.
Now, does that mean anything for the rest of the season? No, not really. But historically, it's on their side. So there you go.
That's good to know. That's good. Hey, again, you're talking about history. They've gone above 500 every time. They're perfect right now. 5-0. It's a good vibe. It's all good vibes right now. But that's a good stat. But I want to ask you something because in the many years you've been watching the Pirates, right? And the many years we've been part of North Shore 9, they haven't been pleasurable. Have you seen the Pirates play? I guess let me rephrase this because I want to talk about the lineup right off the bat. Like Marco Gonzales starts today. We'll talk about him. The lineup has just been so impressive to me. And as far as the lineup goes, have you seen a Pirates team just do all the right things offensively as they are this year?
No, not since we've started this, that's for sure. And it's not, I think it was Brian Raise the Jolly Roger that tweeted it out. Like, how fun is this to have a lineup that is just hitting? Like you said, as soon as the Nationals tied the game, like I tweeted, okay, the bats are going to have to win it. Let's go. And then what they do instantly, there's the bats. They're getting, and they end up with 5 more runs than what you were expecting. And they keep coming at you. So no, we haven't seen anything like this since, 2015? And even then,
probably
the pitching was really what was, the pitching and defense, I guess, was working for the Pirates more so than the offense. But man, it's kind of, and it's everybody. It's everybody coming in. It's, pinch hitting off the bench is working out. Like everything is just going good with the lineup. And we've seen a lot of lineups that, when it goes bad, it goes bad. And it's right. Very boring baseball to watch. But man, it's a fun time to watch with this kind of lineup.
And I'm going to say something here. Like we've talked about this lineup coming into the season, and like the power that it potentially presents. Bryan Reynolds can definitely hit, the long ball. Brian Hayes potentially, right? If he's going to carry over from last year. We all know what Ono Cruz can do. Rowdy Tellez potentially, Henry Davis. Like this team has the potential to really hit some home runs. And it's not that they haven't been able to at all this year. I mean, they have hit 4 in the 5 games. But Ryan, it's like they're doing it every possible way. Like in the 5 games, you've seen them score, I think, every possible way you can, outside of just stealing home.
Getting over the fence, small ball, the bunts. I mean, everything is
years and all year of like last season.
Right. I don't, dude, it's fun to watch, hopefully like we were optimistic about this lineup as being the strength of the team coming into it. And so far that's played out just like that. So hopefully it keeps up. I mean, I don't think they're going to keep up scoring 8-9 runs a game, but it's fun while it's lasting. So, let's keep it going. And 5-0, and also, if anybody's wondering, the best start in Pirates history was 1962. They went 10-0 start. They ended up winning 93 games that year. So that's the mark you got to get to 10-0. What do you think?
Hey,
you think they're going to do it?
Just take out these Nationals, those stupid Orioles that aren't any good. Yeah, they can do it.
Hey, if we can win when Bailey Falter starts, it's all good.
Right. But again, like that's something we talked a little bit today about on Starbucks, and they did it today. Like Mackenzie Gore makes the start, another lefty. Like this is the lineup where most the guys that you really want to see are going to be in because they demolish righties, right? Like that's why O'Neill Cruz is dropped back in the lineup. That's why Jack Swinski isn't really starting, right? Like these guys, because it's lefties, and you would assume this team's going to struggle more versus lefties, and they're doing all this versus lefties. Yeah. Like they've seen one righty starter in the 5 games they've played. This is what they've been doing against lefties this entire time, and again, like that's what's kind of inspiring. Like they haven't played really sound baseball all around. They're doing, they're facing lefties, and here we are. Like this team's 5-0. So I'm like, I guess to kick it off, I mean, the game starts. Like Connor Joe, of course, flies out, but then right away, Bryan Reynolds gets on base. Brian Hayes gets on base. Like if that doesn't sound like a broken record right now, I mean, those two, Connor flew out, Connor Joe to begin with, but like honestly, those 3 so far setting the tone for this lineup has just been outstanding.
Yeah. How good has Reynolds been? I mean, every game.
So good.
Every game. It's like he's done it obviously before, multiple seasons, but he had a down year but it's like he's really just looks like that guy. Like he's putting it all together and really doing it. Henry Davis today, a couple of doubles. Twitter was.
Would you say he's seeing the ball well today?
I think he's seeing the ball well, as maybe Tyler. Hopefully Tyler's agreeing now. But with Davis too. A couple stolen bases on him today. I think there was one in that Marlins series, but I think the one today, they got a really good jump on it. But Davis overall, like the bat and just him being behind the plate has looked great. And that's what I talked about in that game in spring training. Like that is a win for where Henry Davis was last year for the Pirates, because they weren't even like him being behind the plate and being their catcher wasn't even like a thought the Pirates were seeming like they wanted to entertain.
Yeah, let's kind of go there a little bit. He's been productive even without collecting hits in the Marlins series, getting on base today. Like you mentioned, 2 doubles, he was getting hits. He also was walking. So we got on base, I think three times today. We know the offense was there. Like that's in him. If he's going to be a good player, it's going to be because his offense is really, really good. Right. And so far he's showing like all spring of that capability. I think it's carrying over to the season to a degree, but again, you bring up the defense. And that's certainly something I want to talk about because I don't think we've talked about it enough so far. The one game, I forget who it was, but like spiked the ball in the dirt, like a foot in front of him. He didn't really handle it well. Is that really like the only moment I think in these 5 games so far that we've seen where there was like a blotch? And that's not like a bad thing. It's not like, oh no, he couldn't handle that. Like that's a whatever type of situation. Outside of that, is there any moment where you look and say, yeah, Henry Davis, not even like a bad catcher, not like he's been very competent back there. Like this guy looks every bit of part of a major league catcher.
Right. And I think he had one late today. I don't know if it was the 7th or 8th, but runners were on, ball in the dirt. He made a good stop on that. So I mean,
Yes.
no, that's like you said, that one in Miami was really the only spot that I point to. And like I said, it's not really being discussed. That's when that's what you want. You don't want your catcher to be being discussed as a negative or liability back there. And there really hasn't been that many, spots to really pick at him. And, people want to see him driving runs. That's obviously he was the, 1.1 overall pick. They want to see him drive runs in, and it's going to come. And, today, 2 doubles, like he's going to find himself. Coming from where he was last year, from what we saw, it's a huge upgrade from just overall the bat behind the plate from what we've seen from Davis. I'm loving it.
Yeah. Like, again, like the arm strength is there. He wasn't going to get Robles out on that throw, like either way. And that was a good hard throw. Yes, it was off target a little bit, but like we've seen the arm in action. Like we see the weapon it is. It was just everything, like every complete aspect of the game behind the plate that you kind of worried about. And it's really putting you at ease right now. Again, like this isn't just like, yeah, there's a bad play here's a bad play there, but he makes up for it offensively. It's just like there's a ton of confidence behind the plate. There's no reason to believe that he can't play it. And then on top of it, you have an offensive-minded catcher who's going to do stuff like he did today, have 2 doubles. I mean, he's hitting the ball very, very hard. And yeah, like Henry Davis seems to be in attack mode at his pitches. And he's very patient laying off at those that aren't there. So like when he sees that pitch and he hits it, he makes that connection, he drives it, right? But he's not just up there free swinging. I mean, this guy looks, it's weird to say because like last year was bad. But when he first came up, you saw this, right? Like I really truly think like most of last year was probably due to the injury. Maybe that was a bigger part than we expected. But like when he first came up, you saw this and you're seeing it again. I mean, this guy is every bit of a good hitter that he was advertised so far.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, and just I don't know where you want to go from here. The rest of the lineup. I mean, Twitter was getting on Kutch.
Going down this list.
Yeah, Twitter was getting on Kutch for a minute. All of a sudden, Kutch starts ripping. He had the one thought it was 300 for a second, hit off the wall for a double. He drew a walk. And dude, Alika Williams, 2 hits. I mean, it was just coming from everybody today. Cruz. I think Cruz was 1 for 5. He had some rough at bats, but I mean, Cruz has been fine, this season. So you're not going to have everybody be hitting 2 hits a game. But dude, it's the lineup just 1 through 9 was on today. And this game was so weird that the first 5 innings, it was a boring game. Like just not much was happening. Pirates had a small lead. It was 2-1, 3-1. And I just had that feeling in my stomach, like this is one of those games that like you're just not adding on. You're gonna, next thing you know, you give it away and you lose it. And they gave it away, which we'll talk about. But boom, the bats come right back and just get the lead back and then some.
Right. Yeah. I mean, they seem to get to Mackenzie Gore early. And I would say you thought like, okay, it's going that direction. They're going to score a lot of runs. Mackenzie Gore settled down a little bit. Now, again, you could question maybe that was more in part of the umpiring or not. My stance in umpiring. It is what it is. It happens both ways. No one's out to get the Pirates. And you talk about Cruz. I do want to bring up one thing about Cruz as well. Like he faced lefty, got another hit today against a lefty. He struck out that one time against a lefty where that ball was really low. Like again, this is where last year I harped on Jack Swinski not swinging at balls that were close like that. But Jack's detriment was he just wasn't swinging the bat last year. Ronel Cruz like the opposite. He's swinging. Him laying off that low pitch today, which really was a ball, ended up being strike 3. Like that, it ends up being a strikeout in the stats, right? But to me, that was a good at bat. That was a very good eye. I'm glad he laid off that pitch. It is unfortunate that he ended up striking out with it. But yeah, so like Mackenzie Gore was settling in, and then like you said, like then the bats came alive. And really, it was funny. It was like right when everyone was going off on Kutch. Kutch is washed. Kutch is terrible. Kutch never got out again since those comments. 2 hits and a walk, and he got hit by a pitch today. Yeah, he quieted them haters.
Yeah, your tweet, you had a good tweet. Kutch is a notorious slow starter, and he is. Plus, he did a video. I think he was I don't know if he was with the Yankees or Phillies, but he did that video I remember from spring training one year where he talked about like getting those first couple at bats in spring training. He's like, they're for the birds, because he's like, just that ball's getting in there quick. And he didn't get many at bats in spring training. So I think Kutch just needs to get, that timing down and get the rhythm going. And, we saw it today. Should he be batting fourth, every day? I don't know. That could be debated. But there, as soon as we were kind of people were getting on him, he came right back with 2 big hits and just kind of the standard Kutch. So no, I don't think Kutch is washed. He'll be fine. He's the professional hitter. Like he's just Kutch. So let's go. But no, man, it was just the whole lineup.
I'll say this: I'm gonna at least give him more than 13 plate appearances before I start claiming that he's washed. Like if we're in the middle of May and he's looking awful, then like at that point in time, maybe we should probably have some discussion here. But like we're the 5th game in, he hasn't played in 2 of those games. And like you said, like he's notorious for starting off slow. He didn't really get that many plate appearances, in spring training. Like give it some time. That's all. Just give it some time. Let the guy get some at bats.
Right. Like I said, if you want to debate where he should be batting in the order, that's one thing, because everybody else in this order seems to be hitting as well. So that's a debate. That's interesting. Another day, but still, is he washed? No, it's way too early for that. And then it was almost like he heard the haters and he came right back out. So where should we go from here? Right. I mean, do you want to? A lot of people talking Ronzi in our chat here.
Connor Joe had 2 hits today. Bryan Reynolds had 2 hits today. Kutch had 2 hits. Davis 2 hits. Michael A. Taylor 3 hits. A bit of a revenge game for him. He was turning back in Washington, but
he got
Michael A. Taylor's batting 471 on the year. Ryan, Tyler, are you there? Michael A. Taylor is batting 471 on the year.
A+ Taylor. A+.
They're A+ Taylor.
DiNardo, do you know what the A stands for?
What's it stand for, Ryan? Tell me.
It stands for Anthony.
Wow.
Which is it's kind of fitting.
Prestigious name.
I know, right? I saw that because I was like, I had to look it up, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
Anthony.
But Michael, so this kind of goes into part of it of like the offense just doing all the right things. He just drops down a bunt, gets on base, right? Then Alika Williams drops down a sacrifice bunt, get him over. Like Michael A. Taylor's stealing bases. He's playing defense. He's hitting the ball hard. He is like the epitome of what we're talking about the Pirates offense right now. Just like completely just always doing like the right thing and doing them well. And it's all working out. Just, what a great beginning to Michael A. Taylor's career with the Pittsburgh Pirates.
And the defense and center has been great. Like no complaints there. Like, he makes things look pretty routine out there. And like I said, Taylor wasn't, he was a late addition. I know Tyler didn't like the move, but I mean, it wasn't like they broke the bank. What was it? $4 million. And it's just what he does for the team by putting him in center, moving Reynolds and Sawinski kind of into their more fitting roles in the position. And then now here he is hitting, and it's not even been, he has some pop. Like he's shown over the years that he has some pop, and it's just, he's doing it with bunting, just getting on base, it's like everything. So,
with that said, he hasn't hit a home run, but he hit one, 407, I think, in Miami. Like it hit like literally the deepest part of the park that stayed in. So you saw that on display as well. It just didn't, of course, count in the stat sheet as a home run because it didn't really go over the fence.
Right.
But I can't talk enough about Michael A. Taylor right now. Again, like he has really been a catalyst for this team, and he's doing it late, right at the end of the batting order, which again, you turn it around and it's Connor Joe and Bryan Reynolds and Brian Hayes. We've talked about this pseudo like leadoff hitter. If Michael A. Taylor can really be that for this team, like a huge plus. And I'm not saying this is going to sustain all year. Trust me, I get that. But, again, like that's what we're talking about. Like if he can, and I know, like, of course, Alika Williams was the 9th hitter, but like if Michael A. Taylor can like give you that, and the way this top of lineup is batting, that's huge.
Connor
Joe think about like when O'Neill Cruz is batting leadoff as well.
Right. And Connor Joe hitting 350 as the leadoff hitter.
Right.
I mean, it's just, it's been fun to watch. Like I said, I hope the lineup, and this has been all, this has been the 5 lefties to start the year, which they were worried about. Now we're going to get into some, Trevor Williams tomorrow. And it's like, yeah, so now, now we got Trevor Williams coming up, but it's like, yeah, the lefties, it's like you almost want to just keep playing the lefties.
I know, right? It's working so far. Okay, so let's get to the pitching. So Marco Gonzales does make his Pirates debut today. Hey, I look at this and say, we know what he is. 3 swing and misses, right? 3 whiffs on the day. That's just what he is, though. Like, he's not gonna miss a whole lot of bats. What you really need from Marco Gonzales is be able to go 5 innings, right? Induce ground balls, light contact, and limit the damage. Like, he's not gonna go out there and give you 0, 1 earned runs every time he goes out there. Like, he's gonna give up some runs just because of the type of pitcher that he is, right? He's dependent on the defense to a degree. And that's like some of the worries, like I saw today. Like, again, like with the 3 strikes, with the 3 whiffs, he doesn't really have the stuff to get hitters out, but he has this stuff that he mixes it up. He induces the weak contact. And you saw that a bit today. A lot of ground balls, a lot of outs. This, if you want a good Marco Gonzales, this is pretty much the recipe of his success.
Yeah, I mean, this is like the kind of like the peak, like you said. And you're right, soft tossing lefty, but he knows what he's doing out there. He's pitching, dude. He was in a rhythm too, like just fast, pounding the strike zone. I love the rhythm. He was working fast, keeping guys off balance, and I love that. I think I counted a couple times. There was like the pitch clock usually shows up when it hits 10 or under 10. There was times with Marco it didn't even come up. Like he was getting the ball back, and in 6 seconds his windup was going again. So yeah, I loved everything I saw from that. And I think when 77 pitches, he had 50 strikes. So he had 2 walks, but one of them was like, it was like a 12 pitch at bat or whatever that he lost. But yeah, just pounding the strike zone, was really in a rhythm. And I mean, that's the recipes for success that you're hoping for from Marco this year. I mean, that's just like you said. So hopefully, like I said, is he going to be given 6, 7 shutout innings? Probably not, every start, every week, but 5 innings or a quality start, a couple runs. I mean, we'll take it with this lineup. Jeez.
That's a good point. But yeah, I mean, this again isn't the most desirable of lineups out there, much like the Marlins we talked about, right? And like you can imagine, like when Marco Gonzales faces better lineups, there'll be more damage and such done. But like we just talked, like what you saw today, he's not going to be the guy. He's not your ace. He's not the guy that's going to shut down an offense. But if he can go out there and give you 5 innings, give up 3 or 4 against those better teams, as you're seeing with his offense, like there's a chance, right? Like he's still a rotation piece. And again, like this is what's going to make Marco Gonzales successful, limiting the damage that he did today. So I look at this, take it back, and say this is a very good outing for Marco Gonzales. We were worried about spring. Again, though, it is spring. You're not sure what they're working on or whatever, but there were some concerns. Martin Perez looked good in spring, and then he came out and looked good in his first game out. Right. Marco Gonzales didn't look so good in spring, so you're kind of wondering, of course, he's coming off the injury-plagued season. Like, what is he? Right now, he checks off a lot of boxes saying, okay, I liked what I saw. Let's continue.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah. And Doug made a good point. He said best start of the season. And really, I mean, Jared Jones had the strikeouts. He had the nice debut, but gave up a couple runs, couldn't get through that 6th. But he's right. I mean, Keller struggled. So Marco, it was a nice start for him. And like you said,
you could debate. I mean, the actual results. I still look at Jared Jones and say that was a magnificent start. Like what he did, you saw with the stuff that he presents. But results wise today, absolutely.
Yeah. So it was good. And then we might as well get to Ronzi, which, all right, DiNardo, Pirates are up 3-1. You get into the 6th inning, 2 guys on, no outs. You're it's a situation there, obviously you're coming into a jam. Is Rony Contreras your first option out of that bullpen? Because that surprised the heck out of, I think, a lot of us.
I think that's a good point to bring up. Me personally, probably not. Right. But I'll say this. I've liked a lot that I've seen from Shelton so far. But I also kind of look at it and say, but if everyone's just playing well, it doesn't matter what move you make. They're all coming through.
Yeah.
So
Like the
maybe
team
there's a little
picks
bit
you
of
up no
both.
matter what. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but like maybe there's a little bit of both, right? But bringing in Ronesy in that situation, yeah, like I'm not totally sure. But here's the thing, Ryan. I know he gave up 2 runs on that home run, and I don't know the vibe of everybody else, but what I saw from Rowenzy today was super encouraging. Super encouraging. The way I put it is, now I'll say like in this sense, less fastballs right down the middle, but I was also encouraged and like excited to see that he was throwing fastballs down the middle. And the reason I say that was you saw a different Rowenzy. He was out there attacking. You talk about confidence and stuff. Like there's 2 guys on. The Rowenzy of 2023 was scared to death. And I can't get guys out. How am I going to pitch them? He's staying well away from that strike zone. And today he enters the game. You saw the velocity there a little bit, 95, 96. He's throwing, right down the middle. So he's saying, hit this, I dare you type of, that mindset. I liked the balls on Rony Contreras, if that makes sense. I liked how he went out there and says, I'm this dude. I'm going to attack you and try to get you out.
And the balls pretty much was Shelton to put him out there. I mean, that's a huge vote of confidence to bring him out. And like you said about going after hitters, I think, I don't know if Shelton kind of gave him the challenge of, look, there's 2 guys on. You don't really have a choice at this point. Go after these guys, get them out. And he got the 2 strikeouts, got the ground ball. That was huge. And if his day had ended right there, I just think of the boost of confidence from him. For Shelton feels everybody was pumped for Ronesy. On Twitter, reading it, everybody was pumped on him for it. Yeah. Then they bring him back out for the 2nd inning, and I think that's where we all kind of had a little nervous when they brought him out for the 6th inning. When they stayed out for the 7th, it was like, okay, and it was just a little too much for me. And that's where it's like I would have liked to just seen him his day end on a good note, let him build that confidence up. Because, I mean, Ronesy was pumped up after that 6th inning. And he comes out there, seeing eye ground ball, then boom, home run. Tie game. Thankfully, the lineup obviously picked him up, picked Shelton up, and they won big. But it's still, I just would have liked to seen the 1 inning. And, it is what it is at this point. But, it's going to happen. But I don't know. I just don't. And I don't know if that was, hey, the bullpen's pitched a lot in Miami, and we just kind of want to, maybe we'll throw Ronesy out for another 2nd inning. I just wish he would have had a little more, awareness for the confidence, I guess, build for that Ronesy. That 6th inning was such a huge note. I would have liked him to have left the game on that note instead of leaving it on a home run. Pretty much.
I'll say that's fair. I had no issue with him going out for the 2nd. I mean, I think that's the one thing that like Ronesy presents for this bullpen. I mean, he is a starter basically that was thrown into the bullpen because of his inefficiency. So like he has the ability to go multiple innings. And if you're doing that because like you said, like you want to save the bullpen some, like that's what Ronesy presents. And he had a good, inning. So why not throw him out for a 2nd one? I don't really have a problem with that. Like, again, it didn't go well. It didn't matter at the end of the day. Pirates end up winning it. But I mean, you have an argument. In the same sense too, like I can make the argument on the other side. Like, yes, the Miami series was 4 games, but the one thing the Pirates were kind of able to do was protect that bullpen. Most like your Josh Fleming's got for 3 innings. Like you had multiple Luis Ortiz. Like you had like your a lot of guys that were saved. Tomorrow's an off day as well, so you can make the argument like we don't need to really protect and save arms today either. Like you can say, okay, that's done. Let's go do somebody else. Ryder Ryan right then and there, then Chapman later or something. Like you could have done that. I'm not gonna harp too much on leaving Ronesy out there for a 2nd inning. I guess that's just where I'm at.
Yeah, well,
not yet at least. And again,
part of that
also maybe it's because I don't know what reliever Rowenzy is yet.
Right.
If you're seeing this and he goes out for a 2nd inning time after time again, like the Dwayne Underwood Jr. aspect, if he's just the guy that he ends up being a 1 inning guy, then fine. I just don't have enough data to tell me that that's what he is.
Well, that's what I was going to say. If that's what Shelton's thought was that, hey, he's going to be our multi-inning relief pitcher, that's fine. And I understand coming from that thought, but maybe at this point, it looked like, because that 6th inning, you're like, okay, maybe Rony in the bullpen is going to work out. Like maybe that is his, his role that he'll settle into. But we'll obviously it's game 5. Like we'll go on and see what happens. But maybe he is just the 1 inning reliever that comes in and goes 120% max for an inning, and then he's out. So I don't, we'll see. But it's just hopefully, with the team winning, like it doesn't harp on his confidence and stuff. But I would have liked to see him leave on the higher note in the 6th inning, obviously. And I think a lot of people agree with that, and it is what it is at this point. But yeah, it's not, I mean, at this point, we may never see the Rony starter again, and it's going to, because if he ends up doing this, whether it's an inning or 2, or he's doing multiple innings and he's given up a home run like that, or just every other appearance, it's probably not going to work out. And then they're not going to put him back into I think if it doesn't work out in the bullpen for him, it's not back to the rotation for him. It's DFA.
It's DFA. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So, at this point it's either sink or swim in the bullpen, and that's it. So hopefully we draw on more of the 6th inning Rony today. And because I mean, he looked electric in that inning. I mean,
he did,
getting the strikeout. So yeah, it was tough. And I'm not where I feel about Shelton, and NS9 Neil is a big Shelton guy, but Shelton has done a lot of the right moves so far this season. But like you said, when the team's pretty much performing almost like at every aspect, you're going to look good as a manager. So
right.
The team, and the team picked, I don't really, the team picked Shelton up. The team picked Rony up today big time by coming back and getting the win. So,
which you love to see.
Yeah.
Just plain and simple. You'll love to see.
Yep. Yeah. So, I mean, hey, we've seen these, we've seen 20-8 last April. The Pirates were off, and we were all drinking the Kool-Aid and everything then. So, you never know when it's just going to go downhill. So keep these wins going when you have this streak. Hopefully tomorrow's
right now, baby.
Yeah. Hopefully tomorrow's off day doesn't cool them off or cool the bats off. But yeah, just keep picking up those wins.
Right. Yeah. And once again, we're giving out some free sandwiches. So if you haven't yet, definitely go ahead and comment, #raise it. That's coming soon. I guess just to wrap this up before we do give it away. I mean, yes, Ryder Ryan did come in, Aroldis Chapman finished the game. But to talk about, I mean, hey, Chapman's looked good. I'm not going to talk too deep about him. A little bit about Ryder Ryan. Again, we talk about stat lines, like the numbers say 1.2. He gave up an earned run, 2 hits, a walk, 3 strikeouts. Like the walks were a little bit concerning coming at that last inning for him. Like, just start throwing strikes. You have an 8-3 lead. But again, the umpire also not doing too many favors. But
a lot of people grumbling about the umpire today. And I hate complaining about the umpire.
Sure.
But I agree. It was bad. But I mean, it's bad kind of both ways, so it evens out is my point.
I'm not going to complain about it, but of course, like, to bring it up as far as individual performances, I say that because I do want to talk about Ryder Ryan. There's something there. Tyler and I talked about the first time we saw him today, the same thing. That 2-seamer, holy hell. Yeah. Just holy hell, Ryan.
I like the name. He just has the name, and now if he can pitch from it. Speaking of Anthony being that prestigious name, Ryder Ryan, man. What did I apologize? I don't know who tweeted this out, but I saw it on Twitter. They basically said Ryder Ryan has that like Cardinals vibe of like, dude comes out of nowhere and is just going to be great. And I'm not saying not like a great, Hall of Fame reliever, but great that just like a dude you just weren't expecting to count on, and here he is. You can rely on him out of the bullpen.
I'll say this to that effect. You talk about like the Cardinals aspect, which is funny, and yeah, I agree. But like that, this is exactly how you build bullpens. Like, again, this is how you do. You find those guys. You can't just have like 13 Aroldis Chapmans in your bullpen. You're gonna have to find some cast-offs, see something in them, bring them in, and make them good for 1, 2, 3 years. And I'm not saying that this is what's happening, but this is the recipe of how you do it. I said it before, and I'll go back again. Like, I talk about the Orioles so much because like they built that bullpen from literally nothing. It's all cast-offs. Like, they traded the one guy that, like, they traded their David Bednar away. at the trade deadline, a few years ago, in a sense. Like, this is how you build good bullpens. You have to find these type of guys. So again, not out here to say Ryder Ryan's going to be that guy, but so far he's shown me a lot of signs that he can be that guy. And that two-seamer is just filthy.
Yeah. It's the Neil Huntington style of putting a bullpen together. I think
Right.
Ben kind of got it. It took him a couple years, but we'll see. They went out and they still made that splash signing with Chapman, which was, I at the time we were like confused, but hey, if we're gonna add that to the bullpen, great. And he looks so far great, all the ways around. So right. he got the save today, like you said. It wasn't a save opportunity until Ryder made it one. But yeah, everybody's like picking up saves, but Bednar.
But David Bednar.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's a good thing to have. You have multiple guys that you can go to.
Yeah, we're 5 games into the season, all these saves, right? Pirates are 5-0, and David Bednar has zero saves.
Right.
Who would have guessed? Not me.
It's crazy.
But
it's crazy.
Well, let's do what the people are here for. Let's start giving away some sandwiches, Ryan.
Let's do it.
Again, everyone, if you haven't yet, comment #raise it, because in about 7 seconds, I'm doing this drawing.
Here we go.
So let's go ahead and let's get this up here.
Doesn't sound like you want the drum roll.
Give me the drum roll, Ryan.
Yeah.
All right. So hey, we have 73 entries, which again, I'm not sure. We need more entries, people. We're giving away free sandwiches. All you have to do is comment. But all right, let's do it.
Who is it? Oh,
let's go. It's going to take 9 hours. At least that's how it always feels.
Right.
Wayne. There it is. So we have another new winner. I swear now, every time we do this, I'm afraid Gabe's going to win because he's won twice already.
Right. They can't allow it.
Wayne, congratulations. As always, message us on any social or just email us at northshore9@gmail.com. Let us know your address and I'll have those cards mailed out to you this week. So yeah, once again, congratulations, Wayne.
Primanti's, man, giving out the sandwiches. I'm telling you, I think they were like, oh yeah, the Pirates will win like 70 games. This will be good. Boom.
We're making Primanti's go broke. I apologize. This partnership's great, but it turns out we're making them go broke.
Yep.
Just 2 sandwiches at a time.
It's because so much winning. You're gonna get tired. You're gonna winning. I miss the old drops. I miss the old drops. Right. We gotta get. Where's Geddes?
Well, let's go ahead and get out of here now. So the Pirates are 5-0. Tomorrow is an off day. They do have Mitch Keller going up against Trevor Williams. So the 2 old former rotation buddies facing off together. That's going to be an interesting game. So we'll be back. I forget who's on the post-game show then, but it doesn't matter because the Pirates are going to win. We'll see you guys later. Thanks for tuning in, and bye-bye.
Peace.
Hey, you all. Thank you for watching. I know we try to provide the most entertaining content that we can, and we'd love to spread it to as many people as possible. So I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but if you could take the 5 seconds to like this video and subscribe to the page, it helps out so much more than you know. Thank you, and let's go Bucks.